Hey y'all, and welcome back to Raccoon Creek Homestead. This is Sam coming at you from West Central Indiana. I am hanging out in my backyard, enjoying the beautiful leaves and the green and all of the sounds, including the chickens and the goat when she decides she's not getting enough attention. So, here are 8 simple tips before you take the plunge into homesteading. These are just a few things that I've there she goes. These are just a few things I've kind of picked up along our journey, and I hope that they help you. So take a listen. If you plan on planting any trees, like fruit trees or berry bushes, asparagus, do it as soon as you can because they take a while to get anything. So by the time that, if you wait until you've got your garden set up and all your animals and stuff, you're gonna have to wait another several years before you get anything out of it. So as soon as you can, plant those, and then by the time your animals are in your garden, you're gonna have fruit at the same time. Our next tip is, if you plan on having a big garden, starting from seeds is a great way to save you some money. I know that this year the plants at like your big box stores have gone up significantly in cost. Starting seeds and just raising them like this, so much cheaper. And if maybe you have friends that have them, you can sell the extras. If you maybe plant extra, or your local farmer's market, or you can make up some of your costs that way, which is what I'm gonna do. These are just the ones that I'm keeping. I've already sold some at our farmer's market, and I have more to go out later. So, saves money, possible income. So the next tip is, let's talk fencing. So as you can see behind me, the fencing here is bowed, because this started out as just to keep our beagle in, and then we got goats, and she scratches herself on it, and she basically runs her body all the way down, causing it to bow. That then causes weaknesses, and then dogs get in with her, and then she gets all mad. So, and it's kind of a safety thing. All of our dogs are fine with her, and she's fine with them, but it could be a lot worse. So with your fencing, just get the right thing. Don't cheap out on it. Don't think, oh, I'm gonna get, look, whatever kind of fence this is, when you need something stronger like field fence, which is what we're now replacing it with. So yeah, just do it right the first time. Do it right, do it tight. That way that they can't slip under it also. Which, oh yeah, look, there you go. See? And it also doesn't help that when we did the fence, it was for a beagle. We've since gotten bigger dogs, and he basically literally just chews this off. So if you have a livestock guardian dog in with your animals, again, get the fence you need, not the fence that, you think you need, or the pretty fence. Get the right fence. Trust me. Or you'll be fixing fences literally every single weekend. And another thing, do your research before you get anything that's living, or actually gardening. I mean, I guess they're living too. But do your research, that way that you're not throwing away money or adding extra stress to your life, because believe me, I'm sure if you're anything like me, you have more than enough stress to go around, and you are looking for an easier way out than a harder one. So if you get chickens and then you stress because they have nowhere to sleep or, lay eggs, that's adding stress. Get it ready, then get the animal, do your research. If you don't know anything about raising goats, do not get a goat. They are needy. I did a lot of research, and I still don't think I was prepared enough. And that's even on Facebook. There are different groups, like chicken groups and goat groups and pig groups, and you name it, there's a group for it. But don't rely on just them to answer all of your questions. Get an actual book like a physical book that's accredited. Go to your library and you can rent out the entire like section. I'm not gonna say that I haven't done that, because I've done that a time or two. But yeah, do your research before you get anything, because let me tell you, there's a lot more to it than just going to Tractor Supply and getting those cute little chicks, because let me tell you, they grow up. And yeah, there's more to it. We haven't even tackled pigs yet. We set a challenge, and kind of along the same line as start small and like don't get in ahead of yourself. We have basically said that we'll add one new animal, one new thing. Thing sounds kind of bad. Whatever word. Look, fill in the blank. Each year. So our first year we got the garden, and then chickens, and then actually I think no, we did chickens first, then the garden, and then we got goats, and next year we're gonna get pigs. And then I'm trying to sneak in honeybees at that too, just because it's already mid-May and our goats are pretty settled in, and I feel like I'm doing okay and keeping up with them. And bees, I still need to talk to my doctor because I'm highly reactive to bee stings. I'm not allergic, the difference is basically I don't go into anaphylactic shock, but when I get stung, it swells up and swells and swells, and then I gotta get a steroid shot and actual steroids, and it's a big mess. So yeah, but I still want bees because they're so beneficial. They're beneficial to us, to the earth, to my garden, and then the honey is such a nice added perk. So I'm still in the research phase of that and of pigs, but I have like a pig mentor. I have a goat mentor too. Oh, get a mentor. Find someone that's interested. Trust me, we like to talk about things that we love. And I don't know about others, but I enjoy answering questions and talking about the things that I love with other people that also love it, and their eyes just don't glaze over like, what is this girl talking about? But yeah, do your research, ask questions, find the knowledge. Another thing, animals are an investment. Animals are also the cheapest part of said investment. Make sure that you have wherever they're going to live set up for them. Okay, with goats, yes, they need a fence. They also need a house because they hate rain. They hate mud. They are very persnickety little things. A milk stanchion is also helpful. Somewhere secure to keep their grain. That way that they don't break into it. On top of buckets and filters if you're going to keep it. And then if you're going to make soap, then you have to get all the stuff to make soap. So she definitely was the cheapest. Well, they definitely were the cheapest part of goats. Same thing with chickens. You need a coop. If you're not going to free range them, are you prepared to replace them if you have a predator issue? If you do fence them in, you need fencing. Just things of that nature. Along the lines of investment and expenses, yes, you're going to have the upfront cost, fencing, housing, that sort of thing. But you also have to take into consideration food. Is it just grain? Is it grain and minerals? Is it extra stuff to put in their food? Supplements of any kind? Food containers, water containers, which again are going to be in the beginning, but if one breaks or your water container starts leaking, or maybe you have an unexpected vet bill, those are all things to take into consideration when you're looking to get animals. And another big thing is their poop. They make a ridiculous amount of poop, which if you garden is great because that's free manure. Most of the time you have to let it kind of age and sit, that way it's not too hot. But if you don't want to scoop it and you don't want to clean a coop or nesting boxes or something to that effect, you may want to think about that before you make that jump. And you got to spend money to make money. If you want to sell eggs, you have to have everything that they need beforehand. You're going to start in a huge deficit compared to selling your eggs for $3 or $4 a dozen, if that's what you sell them for. And the feed with inflation has gone up a lot since we started our homestead. So, is buying a $16 bag of feed gonna last you longer than maybe buying them at the store? I know that for quality, our eggs are so much better than the store. Jeremy won't eat store-bought eggs. He went to a breakfast place with some of the guys that he works with. They had like a big thing, and they all went out to breakfast, and he didn't even eat the eggs because he's like, they were disgusting. I couldn't do it. So just something to think about in the long run. Next up, we have chickens. And the tip is, don't count them before they hatch. Just because you put eggs in an incubator doesn't mean they're gonna hatch. Maybe they're not fertile. Maybe your humidity is set wrong. Maybe they're just, who knows? But don't count your chickens before they hatch. And also, don't plan on coming in there without bringing snacks, or they end up at your feet. Like, excuse me, ma'am. It's ma'am. And in addition to that, chicks can't just be put outside if it's cold out. They have to have a brooder or heat source. And they are messy and they smell. So if you're like, oh, I'll just keep them in the house. Not something that I advise. We turned our chicken coop run because, again, we fenced it all in because one of our dogs is overly protective and does not like it when the rooster does rooster things with the ladies. So in the spring, we convert the run and ignore the mess, but we make the run into our chicken brooder. A big one that I struggle with is patience. You have to be patient. Yeah, very, very difficult for me, especially being a mom and running a homestead. You're like, okay, I have this little window, I gotta do it now. But like planting a garden, make sure you wait until after your last estimated frost date, or if you plant before it, I mean, even after it, and a frost comes, be prepared to either cover everything. Hi, Aurora. Be prepared to either cover everything or you're gonna lose it. Tomatoes and peppers, and eggplants, they are picky. They do not like chili. So if you put them out too soon, they could really stunt in their growth because it's too cold. Like tomatoes, I wouldn't put them out until your lows are in the 50s, like even at night. Peppers in the 60s, same with eggplants. They just don't like cold. So if you want a good harvest, patience is key. Same thing with all of the projects. As soon as you get a homestead, the project list goes so long, like through the roof long. Be patient. You're only, 1, 2 people, maybe a family. You have time. Rome wasn't built in a day. You don't have to get everything done in one city or one weekend. And last, but certainly not least, enjoy the fruits of your labor. Walk around your property and just sit with your animals. Sit in your chicken coop. Sit in with your goats or your pigs. Okay, maybe not pigs, if they're friendly. And just enjoy. Put a table and chair and drink coffee in your garden in the morning. Because I am telling you, when I'm laying on the floor because I'm exhausted from all of the work it takes to keep this homestead going. But I do it for my family and I do it for me. It's so awesome when you come in at the end of the day with a basket full of fresh produce that you harvested out of your garden, with a jar of milk that you milked from your goat, with eggs from your chickens. And that's just here. I mean, we've got bacon in our freezer. I can make breakfast completely from scratch from places that I know because it's here. You know what you feed them. You know what goes into them. You know that they were loved and that you put so much effort into it. And let me tell you, there is no better feeling than to know that you can provide for your family with good food that's good for them, good for their bodies. So until next time, don't give up, but be prepared. See you next time. Bye.